Hello, so today we're going to be talking about Miguel O'Hara and his backstory in the comics, along with some Spider Man facts and how his story is tied to the Spider Verse movie. The video in the background is just some filler and me building in creative mode from a tutorial I found on YouTube. The original comics from the 90s start off with New York in the year 2099. Many things have changed. We see people in flying cars, shocked and pointing at what we can assume is something superhuman. We can see the box that says, on the other hand, there are some things, continued on the next page, that remain depressingly the same. Then we are shown a full image of Miguel O'Hara in his iconic suit. We can also assume that when he said some things stay the same, he's referring to the fact that he's being chased by cops, maybe? They call themselves the public eye. They're basically a source of news and also the local police force in his universe. A little fun fact, late in the comics, he mentions he got his suit for a Day of the Dead festival in Mexico since he is half Mexican. And so am I, so we're basically the same person? No? After this fight scene with the public eye, they lose Miguel in a crowded mall or Comic-Con that they don't really specify. We cut to a building where Miguel lives, Babylon Towers, in a subsidiary of Alchemax. He rests in his living room chair, and we get introduced to an AI we shortly find out is actually Lila. She's beautiful in my opinion, despite looking different in the movie. However, they do say she can take 293 different appearances. Lila proceeds to show Miguel his voice message box that are also futuristic holograms, but he only views parts of them before telling her to throw them out. Finally, we cut to a younger Miguel O'Hara who works at Alchemax with a man named Aaron. Not to be confused with Aaron Davis, by the way. Aaron seems to be upset with the work Miguel is doing. He's trying to alter genetic structure, kind of like Dr. Connors, except Miguel has much better technology. He is a genius. We find out Spider-Man exists in this futuristic world, or he existed before he died. Miguel explains that they have to take things slow, or else they would lose Aaron to mutation. Miguel makes a joke about how Aaron is being childish, which of course makes him mad. Now, we are introduced to a man named Tyler Stone who interrupts the banter between Miguel and Aaron. Tyler agrees on Aaron's argument, but Miguel obviously thinks it's too early for human testing. We've heard this story before, haven't we? My question is, why do these companies want these doctors to work so fast? This is mutation we're talking about. It's not like a cure or something. This is crazy. We're not ready for humans yet. Mr. Sims, this is far too dangerous. He doesn't want to, but he does it anyways. When Miguel lifts the hood, a creature who once was Mr. Sims grabs him by the throat. Miguel tells them to shoot the creature, and they do, but this leaves Miguel rightfully traumatized, making him go to Tyler Stone and telling him he is quitting his job at Alchemex. Tyler then offers him a drink. By offers him a drink, I actually mean he poisons him. Okay, so there is a drug in this universe called a Rapture, which once the user uses it, they can no longer live without it. Their body becomes addicted. This is what Tyler uses to poison Miguel and blackmails him, since Tyler's the only one who can access this drug legally, so Miguel has to stay and work for him if he wants the drug. Now, I'm not the
I wish
animators
there
of the
was,
movie, but I'm pretty sure that this is what this is.
but I'm not like the others.
Me day one no Zaza, if you get what I mean. Anyways, after all this, Miguel goes home to beat his wife, and then he says, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then they like hug it out or whatever. Miguel immediately tells her what Tyler did to him, and she is like, "Oh, I can get it from the black market." And he's like, "I'm not a drug addict, like, what's wrong with you?" Later that night, Miguel goes back to Alchemax and uses the machine he created to try and revert his DNA back to what it was before Rapture. But, of course, Aaron gets to the computer and injects him with spider DNA instead when he's not looking. Dun dun dun. The machine then blows up, and Aaron is shocked that Miguel even survived. The whole reason he did this was because he was mad that Miguel sassed him earlier. I've slammed my door for more complex reasons than that. Then he tries to trick him, but Miguel is suddenly a vampire? Not really, but the photo's super cool. Miguel doesn't even try to attack him, but of course the white man is threatened and pulls out a gun, trying to shoot Miguel. He misses, the area explodes, and Miguel ends up holding Aaron's arm at the broken window. However, because of these claws Miguel doesn't know he has, he's tearing the flesh of Aaron as he's wiggling, trying to get him to let go. Miguel is confused. He was only trying to help. This is when he notices the claws on his fingers. My hands! What's happened to my hands? What's happened to me? He realizes that Aaron must have put the spider DNA inside of him. He leaps from the window, and we get a cool scene of his claws in action for the first time, kind of like in the movie.
What are those claws? Dude, are you sure you're even Spider-Man?
Miguel gets away from the cops by joining a Thor fan on a glider who also helps him pick out the name Spider-Man for himself. After the assassination attempt that Tyler Stone obviously denies, Tyler hires a character that gets introduced as Venture. Miguel wakes up the next morning realizing his claws tore up all of his bed sheets and all of his clothes, but when he touches his own skin, the claws retract, kind of like Wolverine. Miguel's brother, Gabriel, comes over to lecture him about being so distant. Dana, Miguel's fiance, told Gabriel about the whole rapture situation. Miguel sort of just brushes him off and makes him leave after he sees that Venture's out looking for him. Anyways, blah blah blah. Miguel fights Venture and loses, with Venture carrying him like a runaway sack in those old kid movies. But Venture missed this one simple Spider Man trick. Don't watch the mouth, watch the hands. Now, Miguel had mentioned before that he had an itching sensation in his arms. While fighting, Venture grips Miguel's forearm and spiderwebs shoot out of him. Unlike the wrists in Peter Parker, Miguel realizes that that's what that itching sensation was in his forearms. Venture then does a long and waited face reveal after Miguel successfully rage baits him. He goes to shoot at Miguel, and this makes Miguel realize that people are going to get hurt if this continues. He tries his best to stop any casualties from happening. Miguel uses Venture's weapons against him. He plunges the metal into his wiring, Venture's a cyborg by the way, and defeats his very first villain. Opening scene of issue 4, Miguel's brother Gabriel tries to get some with his girlfriend in the car, but a villain, who we later find out is the Specialist, kidnaps her. We cut to Miguel getting interrogated by Tyler Stone. Miguel has repeatedly said that you like to suck the blood of widows and orphans. They're not in the fridge. Perhaps some coffee? Tyler wants peace between them, and Miguel isn't having it. Miguel has a moment where he wants to force Rapture down Tyler's throat, but he doesn't. Tyler tells Miguel that he thinks the Spider-Man is actually Aaron Delgado, the man who put the spider venom into Miguel. We cut to a guy talking about Miguel as he watched his fight with Venture on the TV screen. We find out this man is, hold on, Dr. Doom.
God, I love Dr. Doom so much. I just love him so much.
Miguel is at his house where he realizes he can flatten down his talons. Miguel also comes to the realization that he can also work back at Alchemex to find a cure for his situation. Gabriel picks Miguel up, and when Miguel mentions that the car looks new, Gabriel tells him what happens to his girlfriend Casey. Gabriel then tells Miguel that Casey told him, with great power comes great responsibility. Go. Miguel meets Casey when she's waving a gun around because Alchemex wants to do experiments on her. Immediately after, Miguel finally meets the Specialist as he chases after Casey. Miguel thinks back to what Gabriel says, which makes me strongly believe that he's gonna die very soon. Miguel changes into his Spider-Man getup and uses this webbing to knock down the Specialist. Tyler takes this as an opportunity to get these people to capture Spider-Man to turn him into something far more evil. As Casey runs away, she realizes the Flyboys are after Spider-Man. Despite her best judgment, she goes to help him since he did save her life. Miguel makes some racist comments before we see Gabriel in his apartment with Miguel's fiancée, Dana. We find out that they used to be something a little more than friends, and she kisses him. Dang, Miguel, while you were out with your brother's girlfriend, he stole yours. After Miguel and Casey get away on one of the Flyboys' bikes, Miguel, not knowing his full real strength, slashes the Specialist's throat with his talons. The police try to take him down, but Miguel insists he didn't mean to kill this guy. They fire at him, and he falls down the sewers. That's... Bro, that's crazy. You're probably wondering, what happened to his daughter, and why is it his fiancée and not his wife? What happens with the whole Spider-Verse thing? Well, actually, that's only a plot that comes up in the movie. He doesn't actually have a daughter in the comics. Miguel O'Hara in the movie is just a variant of the other Miguel O'Haras that exist in the Spider-Verse. Finally, after many hours of recordings and me stumbling over my words, we finally have come to a conclusion in the video. Let me know if you guys want more comics explained because listen, I don't want to copy the comics explain guy, but he kind of got canceled. Listen. I'm not a bad guy, I promise, guys. Like, so come on, subscribe. Subscribe, ain't nothing stopping you. I mean, unless you hate me and want me to die, but here we are. Come on. I actually really want to explain Miles Morales. Actually, no, if I go into depth, I'm going to end up yapping. I will talk for hours about Miles Morales. So, yeah, that's it. That's it. Bye.